Hello Nashe, and this is the second part of magical advice for beginners in money magic. And in my last part, I talk about preparation that needs to be made before you approach the big money magic routine that is required to maintain yourself wealthy. Now, after you're finished with that, you need to be able to understand more money magic and how it's and how that relates to your needs, because you have to understand that with all the products out there, the ones that you can buy and the ones that you can make on your own, there are many types of money magic that might suit or not suit your needs. Okay, now allow me to start with basically cutting the money magic genre to two. There is the protection from poverty spells, and there are the I'm so wealthy, I'm so rich, I need to maintain that wealth spells, okay? Obviously, if you're looking at money magic video, you need more money, meaning that you're not really, your bank account is not full right now, and you need to maintain what it is. So first of all, after you finish with the preparations that I have described in the previous video, you get to some sort of a stable situation, and then you do a money protection spell. Now, why is it important? It's important because basically after you rid your body of the disease that is poverty, you need to maintain poverty free, meaning you have to keep your house clean, you have to keep your body clean, you have to keep your spirit clean. And once you get all of those cleaned and in place, you have the ability to put a protection on that prevents poverty to ever come back in. Now, there are myriad of very simple folk spells that does it in all traditions. It's like, you can probably find them like put some money in a jar, or put some grains in a jar, or tie a piece of bread behind your door and, in a purple cloth. So you will always have money, or you always have food. I recently saw a version of it that is like mix some grains with some salt and sugar in a bowl and put a safety pin, open safety pin there. And so you'll always have money, you'll always have food, and you will always have a roof above your head. And once this gets dirty, you spill it into the crossroads. And you have many sort of protection from poverty. Judica Ellis in her book published a recipe that is called shishi oil. Shishi is an old slang for something that is fancy. It's basically an old word for fancy. And it contains angelica, which is a protection from disease, and also divine providence. It has some bay leaf that is supposed to give you victory over adversity, again poverty, and some cloves that makes everything sweet. It sweetens the situation, and vetiver to increase the power of the mixture. I think this is the recipe more or less. It's very close if it's not that thing. And this is like a basic condition formula that you can use to make oils, powders, incense, mojo bags, etc. But how do you know what you need? How do you know if you need the incense, the oils, or the mojo bag, or anything? Well, most likely it would be safe to assume that you need all of them, especially if you need to protect yourself from poverty. But there are variations in the changes that you make, okay? For instance, I would use grapeseed oil to saturate the herbs in the oil for a while, okay? And to the oil I would add other rich ingredients such as basil. I would add some mint. The basil mint is like Haitian voodoo, like wealth mixture thing, okay? And I will let it saturate for 3 months, and then I will birth it after 3 months, because the bottle is like the body of a woman, and when you open it, you birth the new concoction that you have made. If I'm using incense, I would add to those 4 ingredients some frankincense, or some myrrh, or some other resin that will help it burn well and crush it in the mortar and pestle. Again, the mortar and pestle are symbols of spiritual fertilization. It's like the mortar is representing the uterus, and the pestle represents the phallus, and when you break stem in it, you represent fertilization. So what's coming out of the mortar and pestle is the magical ingredient is magic. And you crush everything down, you burn it. If you have a Papa Legba, if you work with Papa Legba, you need to start with the cloves because this is the issue ingredient in it, and then you can burn the first little batch for Papa Legba, and then fumigate your house while you are cleaning. And if you go for an amulet, yes, this is an amulet. The difference between an amulet and a talisman is that an amulet is protective, and a talisman is summoning something into you, and you want to keep the poverty out. You will need to add some quartz crystals, some jet crystals. Jet is for general protection. If you can afford a rough ruby, use some rough ruby because rough ruby also protects you against poverty, etc., etc., etc. And the protection from poverty, and now you need to ask me why I need all three of them, and that's very simple. You have to understand that basically there are 4 conditions that can be awakened with this vibration of energy. One condition is the big ritual. It's a big boom. The problem with the big boom is that after it achieves the cause, it fades away. Okay, meaning, for instance, I do a protection poverty ritual over my surroundings. In a month, it will fade away, and I need to repeat it. Okay, but the boom of the energy that you get in the ritual when you raise that energy is that it's very efficient for that period of time. Okay, now the oil is basically stored liquid energy, and oil is something that can burn. It's something that could evaporate into the air slowly. Okay, this is basically liquid energy. This actually gives the direction to the energy in a ritual, in a spell, in a charm, etc., etc. So you need the oil in order to boost protections, in order to define general protections into protection into poverty. This is something that you can anoint your general protection talismans to add that little something into that oil, into that protection. Okay, so this basically it's a direction finder and a liquid energy. The incense, like the normal ritual, is like a boom of energy, and the good side of it is not only it can be used as an offertory and gets your blessing outward into the air, it's also an offering to the spirits, meaning you give them an offering of herbs, but you are also, releasing a massive amount of energy at once, unlike the oil that burns slowly, even if you light a candle with it or other things. And the talisman gives you that that amulet gives you that constant little drop of energy. This maintains your protection, especially if it has a quartz crystal in it. So quartz regenerates energy. So basically, once you make that mojo bag or that talisman or that pendant or whatever, it depends on your tools and your skills, it will continue give drops of protection from poverty. And as you carry it with you, it will also help you make the right decisions to get you out of poverty. Okay, and this is the very basic this is what I just gave you is a very basic example for protection from poverty. This is a very basic thing that you need to be doing to maintain your protection. Obviously, you will need to give offerings for all of those, because the spirits don't give you money for free. You need to give them some of your food, okay? Even if it's like soup kitchen food, you give them a portion of that soup kitchen food before you eat, to represent the cycle of giving and getting. You get the food from the world, and you give the food back to the world. So there is a cycle. You recognize the cycle, so the cycle moves easier for you, okay? So this is basically the chapter about protection from poverty. Next chapter, I'm going to talk about the big and the preservation of wealth money spells, and what order and which form they should be. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Goodbye, Nashe.